Well, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing Filmographies. Apparently, Steven Spielberg was attached to this project and wanted Jack Nicholson to star.
As Albert Finney? As Albert Finney.
I'm assuming, I mean, maybe, but I was kind of thinking maybe in the Ewan McGregor role.
No.
Maybe it was as Albert Finney.
Yeah, it would have to be.
But he just dropped it because he had too full of a schedule, at which point Tim Burton signed on to direct.
I can't imagine this being a Spielberg thing. That wouldn't be the same movie. A frustrated son tries to determine the fact from fiction in his dying father's life. Big Fish, a 2003 film. PG-13, 2 hours, 5 minutes. Starring Ewan McGregor, Albert Finney, Billy Crudup, Jessica Lange, Helena Bonham Carter, Alison Lohman, Robert Guglielmi, Marion Cotillard.
Speaking of Albert Finney, and I don't know how accurate this is, but word on the street is producers at Sony originally wanted Brian Cox.
Fuck off.
For the role of Ed Bloom, Sr.
That would have been good.
But when the casting supervisor, Denise Chemain, was given photos of Cox, she mistook them for Albert Finney and offered him the part instead. By the time Sony realized the mistake, the film was too far into production to make any changes. Isn't that crazy if that's true? What led to Ewan McGregor being cast is that they saw pictures of Albert Finney when he was young, and they were like, God, these guys look alike. Let's cast Ewan McGregor to start off playing an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
When he's 32.
Well, he's 32?
Yeah, at the time.
Oh, he's nice and young. Well, they have that argument or the explanation of his body grew. So he looks all big. Right. But then fucking Roy from The Office is like his, not nemesis, but that guy who's frustrated by his existence, who also looks to be 32.
You know, I was thinking about this because later on in the movie when he finds out that, what's his name? The character?
Roy from The Office.
Yeah, Roy from The Office. When he finds out he's come back into his life, basically.
Yeah.
He's like, that guy was the biggest jerk in school. And I'm like, I don't know that that's been established.
Ewan McGregor is the biggest jerk?
The Roy from The Office.
Is the biggest jerk?
Yeah. He goes, this guy was the biggest jerk in our school. And I'm like...
No, that's not been established at all.
No, he was...
He just looked defeated every time that
he just was constantly being one-up by this marvelous character. So this movie is just jam-packed full of actors.
Sure do be.
And obviously the trivia list goes on forever.
I'm opening up all my cans.
There was a deleted scene where Edward Bloom was arrested for stalking.
Alison Lohman's character?
Yeah. But Tim Burton cut it, saying it was better for the character to come off as charming and not creepy.
I mean, yeah, he still comes off as creepy, though.
Yeah. I don't know how true this is. Frequent Tim Burton collaborator Johnny Depp was unavailable to film any part in this movie due to his commitment to Pirates of the Caribbean. However, Depp was able to stop by the studio during post-production to make an uncredited appearance as the voice of the catfish the younger Edward Bloom caught with his wedding ring.
Like he makes a sound or two?
I guess.
Okay.
Since wrapping on this film, this fish can be heard doing guided meditation and ASMR of rubbing fruit together on the Headspace app.
Okay.
You think that one just slipped through the vetting process for this trivia?
Yeah, that sentence almost just didn't even make sense.
No.
I'm just staring at you.
Yeah. Here's a good one, and I actually looked this one up. While Spectre is a fictional town, the zip code shown on the deed of Jenny's house is real. 36104 is one of the zip codes for Montgomery, Alabama.
36 Mafia?
You can, however, Google, open quote, the town of Spectre, close quote, and see the private island where the set is now abandoned.
For real?
For reals. I did it.
Fuck.
There's a little island somewhere, and these buildings are there.
Oh, I'd like to go there.
And they look like they're in pretty good shape.
Wouldn't you like to go there?
I would love to go there. I wonder...
Fuck.
And then there's a sign that says, welcome to Spectre or whatever.
I wish we were so rich.
I'd fly you down there right now, man. It was filmed mostly in Wetumpka, Alabama, although they filmed in another small town and just married the two to get the whole, what is it called? Ashton? Is that the name of the
small town?
Yeah. Ashton, Alabama.
Yep, I knew that. Yep.
It was actually Wetumpka and Prattville combined. The budget was an estimated $70 million.
Whoa.
The U.S. gross was $66.8 million. Opening weekend, $207,000. Gross worldwide, $123 million. So, I mean, if the budget is just production and not including
advertising,
ads, didn't really do that well.
No, I mean, they were pushing it as like an Oscar movie. That's why it opened lights. They're opening it in a handful of theaters.
Did it win? I didn't notice if it won any awards.
I don't remember.
I remember this being like, oh, you got to see Big Fish.
But yeah, it was not a big movie. I mean, it's a pretty depressing film.
I don't like it.
Oh man, I liked it a lot.
That much. I really liked the end. That really got me.
Fuck yeah.
It felt very clumsy as a movie.
Oh man, I found it to be whimsical and entertaining.
Because there's a part early on where Billy Crudup is doing a voiceover.
In telling the story of my father's life, it's impossible.
Hey, remember when he's like at his prom? He's supposed to be a high schooler.
Yeah. Bill! You know, Running with Glory or whatever it's called. Without Limits. Because Billy does a voiceover where he's like, I got to tell you my dad's story the only way I know how, like, by his stories. So then we're seeing his life. Then it jumps and Albert Finney is narrating.
I just left Spectre and was on my way to discover my destiny.
To Marion Cotillard. Then it jumps later and Jenny's telling the story.
He was never a wealthy man, but he had made other men rich.
So it feels weird when there's multiple narrators
Yeah.
telling the same story, and one of them is the guy that the story's about. I kind of wish it was just one of them telling it up to a point and then it goes forward.
Sure.
Or whatever. But yeah, so it was directed by Tim Burton, which everybody knows.
T-Bone.
Everybody thinks he directed Nightmare Before Christmas. He didn't.
Nope.
The screenplay was written by John August, who wrote and directed The Nines
Is that,
with Ryan Reynolds.
Fuck. Is that...
And Melissa McCarthy, I think.
Is that the one where he's God?
I think it's like there's like a producer. I don't know.
There's one where it turns out he's like a god.
I think he's tying a green bracelet in the cover. I think this might be that.
Yeah, that's a bad movie.
He also wrote Go.
Oh, I like Go.
Yeah.
Go's the best.
He wrote Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle.
No, thank you.
And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Corpse Bride. And Dark Shadows. All Burton films. And he also wrote the most current Aladdin.
Fuck, okay. So he made Go.
He wrote it, yeah. The guy who wrote the novel, Big Fish, a novel of mythic proportions.
Was it the writer of Field of Dreams?
No.
Oh.
He only wrote 3 other things after this. 2 of them were shorts. One was called Retrospectiva, quote unquote, a novel also called Ray in Reverse. So I don't know if this guy's like Russian.
Why would he be Russian?
Retrospectiva. You got Albert Finney. Dude's been around for 1,000 years.
Never attended an Oscar.
No.
Oscar celebration.
Was in the Bourne movies. We got Ewan McGregor trying his hardest and damnedest to pull off a southern accent, which I think escapes him at every turn.
Armed with a full knowledge of my own death, I knew the giant couldn't kill me.
God, I really have no problem with his accent in this.
Jessica Lange or Lange?
Lang.
Okay, because there's an E at the end.
Yeah.
And you say range, not rang. She plays the older version of Sandra Bloom. Ewan McGregor plays the young Ed Bloom, and Albert Finney plays the old Ed Bloom. Alison Lohman is the young Sandra Bloom.
Did you feel that Alison Lohman, somehow she matches Lang?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about her face where you're like, yes, that is young Jessica Lange.
Yeah, I think so. I don't see it in Albert and Ewan.
No, God, no.
At all. I don't know what the deal is there. Billy Crudup, of course, he plays Will Bloom. Marion Cotillard, she plays Josephine. This was her first American movie. Who else we got in here? We got Helena Bonham Carter, who plays the witch, and also Jenny, who becomes the witch?
Yep.
Maybe. We got David Denman.
Is that the giant?
That's Don Price, the Roy from The Office.
Okay.
He was also in The Nines.
Is he in Sons of Anarchy, or is it that guy that kind of looks like him?
I don't think so. Okay. He was in True Detective.
Oh, he was also in Mayor of Easttown.
He was also in After Earth, Brightburn, and a little picture that I enjoy that you'll never watch called Greenland.
Pick it for one of your movies. I think poor Roy from The Office. I feel like everybody just dislikes him because he's Roy from The Office.
He's also in Emancipation coming up.
That's already out.
He's a slave driver. We also got, Matthew McGrory, who was Carl the Giant. He died in 2005.
I would imagine when they show him still alive at the end of the movie, I'm like, no, man. Giants don't live that long, dude.
For a split second, I thought it was going to be the Giant Kamala from WWE, who put the hurt on Undertaker.
Okay.
But, couldn't wrestle. He's just a 7.5 foot tall guy. Apparently, Matthew McCrory was only slightly larger than the giant at the circus.
Oh, really?
But they filmed him in a way that, he's obviously much larger in this movie than he actually is.
He looks like his body hurts.
Absolutely.
It is pretty sad.
Absolutely. He had the Guinness World Record for having the biggest shoe size.
Did he? Man, he seems like he had something up with his pituitary gland and
big
just
time.
like exploded. Like he was an average size and then stopped growing.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw him outside of this bedraggled garb, he's got huge knees, huge feet.
I mean, he's always walking with his head twisted.
Right.
To the
He
side.
can't turn his. I mean, he lived a bad life. I mean, I'm sure he had a good life, but you make what you can out of it. But
yes,
probably pain ridden. Guy was in 17 movies.
Was he in My Giant? Is he the giant in My Giant? Okay.
He is also in Men in Black 2 in an uncredited role. House of 1,000 Corpses, even though I have 100. And Constantine in an uncredited role.
Why does he have all these? They just need a big guy?
Put makeup on a big guy.
That's a bummer.
He's nobody until this movie actually puts his name and him sort of front and center.
I'm gonna do this Peach Jim Beam
Should
shot.
I do mine?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
The paint's dry upstairs. Kitchen looks nice.
Oh, in case I need to fall against the wall.
Why don't you kick your fucking shoe against the wet paint some more?
Salud.
Salute.
Ha-cha-cha. That's live, folks.
Whoa.
That is Apple.
Oh.
Woo. It's coming at me every which way.
Woo, Peach.
I have an unfortunate medical affliction, which doesn't allow me to shoot alcohol. I have to put it in my mouth first and then drink it. I can't just go straight down the hatch.
Oh, really?
I can't do it.
I mean, with these bottles, I can't shoot it like a shot.
Especially with this.
I was juggalugging it into my mouth and then swallow.
All right, we're already 32 minutes in here.
Okay,
We haven't
let's...
talked about the goddamn movie yet.
All right,
Who's in it?
Danny DeVito's in it. Danny DeVito's a little guy.
Danny DeVito, Deep Roy.
Fuck your donkey, bitch.
Played Mr. Soggy Bottom. That motherfucker was in 53 movies.
Is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you said was.
Because he had been in them.
Okay.
He isn't currently in doing 53 movies.
Okay.
Anyways, he was in The Pink Panther Strikes Again. He was in Undercover Lover, unfortunately credited as Midget. This motherfucker was in Flash Gordon. This
He's
son
a
of
lot
a
older
bitch
than he looks.
was in The Dark Crystal. Yeah,
he doesn't look old.
No, he'd been in the shit since like the 70s.
He looks like he's maybe 30, 35.
He was in Return of the Jedi, playing a character named Droopy McCool. Okay?
Somebody out there is like, I know who that is.
Droopy! Finally, he was in an Alice in Chains video for the song Grind and Freaked. Your favorite. Steve Buscemi's in this bad motherfucker.
I like Deep Roy in this.
I like Deep Roy in general.
He's great in this.
I mean, honestly, he's the best part of these later Burton fiascos.
I'll cut your fucking 2 days off, you motherfucker.
We also got Steve Buscemi, as I said, Ada Ty and Arlene Ty. Now, this is interesting because they're twins. Every movie accredited to them is the same. They were uncredited in Ed Wood. They were a stewardess or a flight attendant in Rush Hour. Here's the odd thing, and I didn't notice where the difference lies. Ada's in 11 projects. Arlene's in 12. They also do beauty tips. Missy Pyle is in this bad motherfucker.
Imagine coming home. You plop down on your gorgeous porcelain Duke throne, drop a ton of heat, and then slip into the tub to clean your filthy balloon knot.
Yeah, you like Missy Pyle?
I do. She comes at me. She pops up here. She was in Home Alone 4, right? She was in Soul Plane.
She's got a little bit of a dastardly look to her.
I have a thing going on for her.
Okay. I like her fine.
Like Debbie Mazar. Something about her is like sinister and sexy. But she's a good actress as well. Loudon Wainwright III.
Everything she knows, I've taught her.
Yeah, from Undeclared. Father of Rufus Wainwright.
My phone's on vibrate for you.
Yeah.
He also was a composer. He did a lot of the music for MASH and was on MASH. And he composed for Knocked Up.
Yeah, he's a big musician.
He is. We also got Robert Guillaume. Is that how you say his name?
Guillaume?
Guillaume?
Yeah, post-stroke.
Fucking Benson.
If it were my nose, I'd have it converted to a condominium.
Sports Night.
Motherfucker put Jerry Seinfeld on the map. He played Dr. Eli Vance in Half-Life 2, Jason.
I think it's pretty baller that he had that stroke and it fucked him up a bit. And he's just like, yeah, no, I'm still acting.
You know what he says?
Huh.
Lean on me.
Okay. When you need a friend?
He's in that movie. He plays a lot of doctors.
He's still alive?
Probably not.
Oh.
Possibly, though. You should look that up. And then we have the first filmed appearance of Destiny Cyrus, otherwise known as Miley Cyrus.
Hello, it's Molly, y'all. So, this is like my show where I like talk to people who are pretty cool and will like talk about things I think are pretty cool.
Miley's in this?
She's the young girl in the beginning when they go to the witch.
Oh shit, he died in 2017.
Damn it.
Miley Cyrus is the young girl in the crew?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I wish I knew that beforehand.
I mean, that's the majority of the stuff that I got here. One interesting fact, it's never made clear which death young Edward saw in the witch's eye.
He didn't see a death, right?
He did.
His death?
Yes, they all saw their death.
Right, but it seemed like he did not know.
No, he looked into her eye and saw it. We didn't see it.
I am aware, but at the end of the movie, it seemed like he didn't know how he was going to go.
Well, he says this isn't it. He keeps saying this isn't it.
Yeah.
So the question is, did he see the death that Billy Crudup is describing? Or did he see Billy Crudup describing it and his death is on this hospital bed?
No, I'm sure he saw the death of Billy Crudup next to him in the hospital.
Telling him the story, but not the story as his death?
I mean, I'm sure you can't hear the story. When it doesn't seem like he hears the audio. I think he probably just sees his son with him.
Well, he sees the depiction
away.
Of the story. But the fantastical element of this movie is that Billy Crudup eventually tells the story seemingly off the cuff, but he knew it was coming. I'm going to try to avoid getting bogged down in the weeds. But the general idea is that he was never at home for Billy.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
He's always out on the road.
Yep.
And when he is home, he's telling all of these crazy stories about how when he was born, he was shot out and was baby skating around on the floor.
Billy's not got a lot to do in this movie.
Billy's not in it really at all, to be honest.
I mean, he anchors it, but it's not.
Eventually.
He has some good moments, but it's not really the Crudup show.
No, it's
the Ewan
McGregor show. For the most part. I mean, Albert Finney, boy, I was getting some, I tell you, Jason.
Boners?
Yes.
Oh.
I welled up at the end, man.
Your feelings are coming back?
It rushed at me.
I had to turn it off because I was at work and I had to serve dinner to teenage girls.
My eyes got misty. I didn't cry, but yeah. I if I had blinked, I probably would have shed a tear. This shit it was like my mom, all this shit's coming back.
Oh, man.
The way Albert Finney is like pointing at the water, using both hands to hold the cup, all that shit. I'm just like, here we go.
It's getting you right now, recounting it.
I picked up my bag, I put it on the table, I opened it up, and I started unpacking.
Your personal grief?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Big fish, man. Because I didn't really enjoy I enjoyed some elements of this movie, but I didn't really enjoy it as a movie. So that's Billy Crudup's story. He's pissed at his dad.
Yeah, he's really quite hostile.
Because his dad's one with the gift of gab.
He does seem quite exhausting.
He does.
He's like, come on, Dad, be a fucking real person.
Dad, I have no idea who you are. Because you've never told me a single fact.
I've been nothing but real.
Goddamn, fuck you, old man. You know what the problem is.
I told you how I met your mother. No, Dad. You're like an iceberg. Do you know about icebergs? Yes, I know about icebergs.
Rip up the ship, everybody sink.
They make you die. Jack and
Rose.
Titanic. So he's trying to reconcile with the man he doesn't know versus the man he knows. He's always assumed that he's just been a philanderer, possibly had a second family that he left them to go with. And
that's real regular thing with those salesmen.
And if not, just didn't like his family enough to be there.
Like a door-to-door dick slinger.
Which is odd because the mother seems so sure of their love that you would have thought just in raising him, she would have maybe somehow been able to have quelled those feelings.
The Crudup feelings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she also could have shed a lot of light on what his dad is really like.
Right.
And the stories that she's been a participant in.
Yeah.
What part of them is real? How to decode your father's stories.
Because it takes the doctor to tell him the real story of his birth, where he's like, if you ask me, I'd prefer the fantastical version. And Crudup's like, I mean, your version's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with Crudup. Like, I don't know.
There's a time and a place.
I don't really like embellishers like that. I find that shit obnoxious.
I think it's fine in moderation and in a way where you're not talking about giants and werewolves and witches. And not only that, but then also propping yourself up as king shit of fuck mountain. I'm scoring last second baskets. I'm jumping off of dudes' backs and doing touchdowns. I'm getting keys to cities.
I worked 3 years without pay just to find out your mother's name so I could stalk her.
She likes daffodils.
So
and he's
fucking
just like,
dumb.
oh my God, daffodils.
Fucking handcuff
shit.
Danny DeVito and beat him till he tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Why 3 years without pay?
I didn't necessarily like Danny DeVito in this either.
No, he's an exploitative scumbag.
Not even that. I think, again, we come back to the accents for me.
Oh.
Him trying to do a southern accent.
Forget it, kid. Don't waste your time. She's out of your league.
It's just like, I don't know if this is necessary. Also, fun fact, Tim Burton was one of the clowns when his trailer was a rockin' and Ewan McGregor went a knockin'.
Did you also think he was fucking in there? I've already seen the movie, but I forgot
actually.
he was a werewolf.
I assume, yeah, same here. I'm like, oh, he's getting boned down.
Yeah, who's he fucking? What's happening in there? Because I feel like he's going to be upset when he opens the door.
But then he's a werewolf. Why was he a fucking werewolf?
I hate it when the werewolves in these movies are
just dogs.
Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah. At least make them big dogs like that Sparkle movie.
Or just be a fucking werewolf like in the goddamn great werewolf movies.
That too.
Be scary. I'm not really scared of a wolf. I mean, I am in real life, but like, I find werewolves to be amongst the scariest of monsters.
Did you ever see Underworld?
Yeah.
All of that's practical. Those dudes are in wolf suits on stilted legs. And there's a scene where they're running along walls and the ceiling. They fucking rigged those dudes up to do that.
That's pretty dope. I didn't like the Underworld movie.
No, they're crap. But boy, they went a little hard on that. And I liked it. And then after that, they were like, fuck this shit. We're just doing CGI.
Man, I thought Underworld was going to be the dopest movie on the planet. It's like, oh man, Kate Beckinsale looks hot as shit. Like, I don't know if anybody can possibly look this hot. Fuck, it's vampires versus werewolves and guns and leather?
It was the promise of
the greatest
the
movie
Matrix
of all time.
Revolution.
Okay.
The Matrix comes out and you're thinking, this just changes the game. And what do we get? We get Equilibrium and we get Underworld. Fine.
Yeah, they weren't good.
No, they weren't good.
Underworld did well. Equilibrium was sank like a rock.
Yeah. And that's actually an okay movie.
I
just think it didn't need all that gun kata shit.
Yeah.
It could have just been this dystopian thing.
I was going to say gung fu, but you were correct.
Gun kata.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle, Jason. So, Ewan McGregor basically...
We haven't even gotten to the story.
I'm saying. So
we're
Ewan
2 hours
McGregor,
in.
He's born. He's the shit. And he's, just too big for his town. They got a giant that's eating everything. And he goes to talk to him, and he goes, I tell you what, giant, I want to leave. Why don't we leave together? Yeah, all right. That sounds like a good idea. So they leave. And he goes down a spooky path while the giant just goes down a regular path.
Why didn't the giant go down the spooky path too?
No idea. I mean, you're a giant.
Yeah, you can protect him.
So Ewan McGregor's getting bit by bugs and shit.
Jumping spiders.
And eventually he comes across the town of Spectre.
And the crow took his key to the city that he got for luring the giant out of town.
The trees squeezed him and he dropped it. The crow took his hat. And then he's in the trees and he's like, this isn't how I die.
The trees let him go.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, mate.
That's when he leaves, though, right?
He just walks off.
We skipped the whole Spectre.
Is that when he leaves?
Yeah, it's when he escapes.
'Cause I thought
it's worse at night. It's scary at night.
Okay. I hated that bit, by the way, with the trees.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Because it's just like, oh, nefarious. And he's like, no, this isn't it. And then it just drops him and he just, like, walks away.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like it's supposed to be, like, guffawing.
I think he'd probably just die walking through basically the jungle with no shoes.
Probably.
I think you'd get some sort of horrible infection.
So immediately before that, he comes across Spectre. He had mentioned a poet, Witherbottom Chandler or something.
Sure, that's good.
Steve Buscemi's character.
Witherbottom Chandler, I like it.
Steve Buscemi's character. Norther Wilcox?
Soggy Bottom?
Yeah. And so he gets to this weird town. There's a bunch of shoes thrown up on a wire that's just running between trees.
Was that signify where you buy drugs when the shoes get tied together and thrown over the power lines?
I don't think it was necessarily where you buy drugs, just so much as these shoes suck. I'm just going to throw them up there.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. I've been wrong before once. Just once.
Nice. Yeah, so he gets to basically paradise on Earth. Everybody's barefoot. Everybody's happy. It kind of seems like they're going to kill you and eat you.
He was licking me!
That's what I was thinking. It's very old-timey. The grass is greener than shit.
Yeah.
The sky is bluer than shit.
And they have a ledger with his name in it.
We weren't expecting you yet.
That's the weird part. Yeah. This is where Loudon is, and I'm already forgetting her name.
Mimi
Bix?
Mimi. I think it's just Mimi.
Bix?
Big teeth. Big
Sharp
fish,
eyes.
big teeth.
She got some sharp-ass eyes, boy. Missy Pile. Like, I'm missing my pile. That's how I'll remember her.
Of gold?
So, yeah, the dude's like, yo, man, your name's on the list, but you're early. You ain't supposed to be here. And he's like, well, what is this? And it's like, it's Spectre, man. It's super old-timey. Fucking Steve Buscemi's there. He's like, oh, you're that writer, poet. He's like, yeah.
They have electricity, but they don't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
everybody's barefoot.
No radios, no TVs.
But there's like a shop and such.
How do they get things?
So it's unclear what's going on here. Steve Buscemi wrote quite possibly the lamest poem ever.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I love Spectre.
Yeah, it's when he realizes that this town is the
grass is green, the sky is blue. I love Spectre. Which, spoiler alert, they're the bad guys in James Bond. So they're dosey-doing and shit.
It makes you dumb. It's too nice there. You have nothing to write
Makes
about.
You complacent.
And then they turn you into Soylent Green, because Soylent Green is people.
And again, I don't understand why they have that ledger.
Yeah, it's just a mystical thing.
I guess.
Right.
So he's like, I'm going to leave. And they're like, what? Huh? And little Jenny's like, oh, mister. And he goes, I'll be back. And she goes, all right. So he walks.
You promise?
Mm-hmm. So he's barefoot. He meets up with a giant again. And he's like, where'd you go? And he's like, whatever.
Well, he has a really good line where he's like,
This town is more than any man could ask for. And if I were to end up here, I would consider myself lucky. But the truth is, I'm just not ready to end up anywhere.
He's got to keep moving.
Right.
I liked that.
Yeah, that was...
Then they didn't have to kill you when you tried to escape.
Mm-hmm. Seems like there's a decent amount of chicks there, too.
Right.
Now, I got a lot of bitches to plow, so you can fuck me later, but you should fuck me now.
Meets up with a giant. They go to the circus, and Danny DeVito, he brings out his big giant, and then Ewan McGregor's like, oh, hey, I got a giant, too.
Mine's better.
And they put the spotlight on him, and he comes in, and everybody's just like, oh, my God.
Tall as a building.
Let me see your dick.
Yep.
and Danny DeVito's like, oh, shit.
Because the dick is small.
It is.
Real small.
I got to snatch that up. And his big giant's like, oh, man, I'm not a giant anymore. And we even see him jump into the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, he's out of there.
He's out of there.
I'm out of here.
And so Danny DeVito's like, hey, I want to hire you, and you're going to be my slave. And he's like, yeah, all right.
Can you read? Do you know what indentured servitude means? No? Cool. Sign this.
Yeah, you know what like workplace grievances are? And he's like, oh.
I'm not going to pay anything, and you got to work all the time. I'm a fucking horrible person.
Yep. And so, well, it's weird because Danny DeVito approaches him, and then Ewan McGregor, he's like, hey, play the music. We're going to close the show. Ewan McGregor then sees Alison Lohman across the way, across the big ring. And he goes, you ever notice that when you fall in love, time stops, they say?
Does that happen?
It's true.
Is it, though?
Apparently, because he's walking through floating popcorn and gets right up to her. And he goes, the problem is time has a way of catching up to you in high speed. And everybody fast forwards and shit. Everybody leaves and she's gone now. Which is, it doesn't make sense because then he walks back and Danny DeVito is still standing there looking at the giant.
Yeah.
So for an unperceived amount of time, he's just standing there in front of them and nobody's saying anything.
Nah, he's probably just thinking about that big man, tiny dick.
Maybe. And so he signs them, and then Ewan McGregor's like, hey, I want to marry that girl. And he goes, all right, well, I'm not going to tell you who she is.
Because I'm a horrible person.
He goes, well, I'll work for you for free.
Oh.
He goes, all right.
I'll tell you something about her every once in a while.
Every
Not
week.
even like every week I'm going to give you a letter of her name.
No, I'm going to give you a factoid about her that turns out to be true, but...
Why would it be, though? How would he know so much about her?
Right. Because she's the daughter of his friend or something.
Yeah.
So we see Ewan McGregor putting his head in the lion. He's working the booth where they pop balloons, and he's like, gosh, she likes daffodils. She goes to college.
The elephant takes that big shit right next to him.
Apparently that wasn't planned.
That's great. I thought
it was just happening, so they zoom out real quick to capture it, and they put it in the movie.
I thought they made him stand there until it dumped.
I thought so, too, because they really abuse the shit out of animals.
In the movie?
In movies in Hollywood in general. The panther from Beastmaster.
Yeah.
That died.
Okay.
Because they painted it.
Oh, really?
The orangutan on Every Which Way But Loose.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they actually physically beat that to death. Guy lost his shit and just beat him to death. So they got a new one. Mr. Ed
fishing wires.
It's been rumored that they just put peanut butter in his mouth, and that's why he does this.
Yeah.
I've also heard that they put stuff up its butt. But that may have been from the Bobcat Goldthwait movie.
Hot to Trot?
Yeah. Anyways, so he's doing that. He finds out who she is. He goes to find her.
Thanks for giving me a reason to say Hot to Trot and really show off my knowledge.
You did, and you came through in a fucking pinch, man.
Thank you so much.
That was clinch what you did there. Clutch? It was clutch what you did.
It is clutch, but I like clinch.
Clinch is good, too. We're talking about butts. So he goes, hey, Alison Lohman, I'm a weird dude,
That's
and I'm going to make you marry me.
Clinch isn't a word?
Yeah. Clench. Cinch.
Why don't you clinch it up right there?
Bottle it up.
Okay, Dolrit.
And she goes, well, I'm going to marry that guy that you went to school with.
You know, Balding Roy from The Office?
Yeah. And he goes, well, I'm going to force you to love me.
Yeah.
And he puts a bunch of flowers outside and shit. And
no, that's like the capper.
Doing
that's
skywriting.
Skywriting and putting things on the...
slideshows. It's a whole ordeal. And she's all just embarrassed. And then he puts the daffodils out. It seems like it's a fucking field. Apparently, it's just the lawn.
It's impossible.
Absolutely.
They planted them. Everybody 5 states away came here, put these daffodils in there while you were sleeping.
Yeah, not just in jars, but we actually planted them in the ground. And then
she's
Roy,
like, oh, I kind of like this. Oh, Roy's here.
And she goes, don't hurt him.
To Ewan.
Ewan?
Oh, that's good. I think that's it.
And he goes, all right. And he just beats the shit out of him. And... as a result, she no longer loves him.
I can't believe you're punching him in the face.
Yeah. And she loves Ewan now.
But guess what? He got to go to war.
Yeah, so he's in the hospital for quite some time. They mentioned the number 3 pops up a lot in this movie.
What? Oh, don't be getting sucked into those magical numbers, man.
He was in a hospital bed when he was a kid for 3 months. He was in the war for 3 years. There's several other ones.
I thought he was supposed to be in the war for a year. That was his hustle. He did the hard...
He was conscripted for 3, but he only ended up doing a year.
Because he did the crazy mission.
And then went AWOL. Missions be damned. He just left.
Well, he completed his mission.
That one? No, because then he made a pact with the Siamese twins to, run away.
I think you say conjoined.
At the time, it was Siamese. Yeah. Don't you... woke me, you liberal mob.
Have a cup of coffee because you're getting woke.
Wow, my eyes are open, bruh. So the conjoined twin. So he's like, I gotta go to war.
They're Oriental, right?
You know what? When we were at Callie's family's Thanksgiving.
Oh man, old people say Oriental?
He did. Them Orientals over there.
They fucking say that.
I said, I'm just gonna leave that.
Yeah, don't point that out. They don't.
No point getting into it. So he goes to war. Korean War, apparently. And he's like, I signed up for the craziest fucking gig so that hopefully I'll be able to get out. Parachutes behind enemy lines. We already talked about this.
Like Owen Wilson.
Yes, the conjoined twins are doing their thing, and they look fake as hell.
Check out the boom.
Why is anybody enjoying this?
How you like me now?
Why are they having a freak show for their, troop rally?
I mean, they're hot.
Sure.
The twins are hot.
Apparently what they did was they actually cinched them together with a belt so that they were close together when they filmed, and then they CGI'd out 2 of their legs. It's freaky.
I have never seen conjoined twins like that.
It looks super fake.
Yeah.
Just as fake as a lot of the aliens. The alien lady in Mars Attack.
Oh, the hot lady?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Missy Pyle?
Lisa Marie Presley.
So he's like, hey, why don't we run away together? And they're like, yeah, okay. And apparently they do. Alison Lohman gets news that Ewan McGregor's probably dead, and she collapses, and then she's hanging up laundry, and he appears.
Probably quite a while later after she found out he was dead, right?
Several months, I would assume, yeah. If not a year.
Would you date a conjoined lady like those 2?
I don't think so. Because you're not just dating one person.
Right.
It's 2 people.
It's going to be hard.
Chances are you're only going to like one of them, and then you got this other one, this third wheel hanging around. You know,
it'd be kind of hot to date him for a little bit, though, right?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Really?
I actually almost threw up when I was watching that.
I think
I was eating Doritos or something, and I was like, I might vomit.
Shut up.
I was drunk, though.
Okay. Is this real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I was thinking
something about the way that they depicted their body. It just didn't... It's like 2 torsos shooting out of a lower body. I don't know what it was. I was having all sorts of emotions.
I was thinking about fucking them.
Well, to each their own, my friend.
Okay.
So he starts a landscaping business or something, and he's super successful, and then something happens, and he's like, I gotta go be a salesman now and sell this mechanical hand.
What if, like, they say things in unison, like, oh, you have a big dick when you're fucking them?
What if they say you have a small dick?
They say you have a small dick?
They just ridicule the shit out of you. So he's salesman now, around, and she's living in a trailer. And eventually he comes across Spectre again, and it's like a shithole country. It's dilapidated. It's gone to ruin, and he just can't have that. Oh, he ran into Steve Buscemi also, who robbed a bank.
He's a bank robber now.
The savings and loan crisis hit. So this must be the 80s.
70s. Look at their outfits.
But isn't the savings and loan crisis the 80s?
I don't know.
Isn't it the 90s?
Both.
So Steve Buscemi goes and becomes like a powerful broker on Wall Street.
That seems like that would be in the 80s.
That does. Although he's dressed like he's in the 40s.
Greed is good.
Anyways.
I'm Gordon Gekko.
So he pulls an extreme amount of money and he buys all of the land for Spectre.
Except?
Jenny's house. Now, the only caveat is that people just live their lives as they were before the road came in and brought ruin to the town.
What is the financial angle of all this?
There isn't any.
So he just talks Steve Buscemi into giving up a bunch of money for no reason?
To buy the land, yeah. Because Steve Buscemi was there.
I was wondering what the angle was.
But he also went to Danny DeVito and maybe the twins.
I think to everybody. He's like, give me some money to buy this town.
Yeah.
Why? Plot hole?
Movie.
But
Jenny doesn't sell.
No.
And she won't sell.
She's being a dick.
She's like, you're supposed to come back. And, I mean, technically you are back, but it's not the right back.
But here's the thing. I love you.
Baby, come back. Okay.
He was all she need.
Mm-hmm.
Ewan McGregor. You're the man for me.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
But he's like, I'm going to break your door when I'm leaving inadvertently. So he gets the giant to come and push her house upright.
Because she's got a crooked house. Crooked lady with a crooked house.
And before you know it, he's just fixing everything.
Yep.
And to some extent, it is a second family, you know?
How the fuck does he spend so much time in that goddamn town while his wife is raising their child?
Yeah, where's he making his money? Because he's got like a nice fucking car.
He's a real dickhead.
He is. And she's like, oh, I want to be with you. And he's like, no, I'm unattainable. I led you on, but I have a wife.
Did I not tell you about the daffodils?
Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's basically her reaction.
Well, here's the deed. Shove off. And so now the town's preserved.
Yep.
However, it then goes to ruin again because he never comes back.
These fucking losers can't take care of their own property even if they get to live there for free.
And she becomes a witch.
It is the only one left in the town? No, I guess some of them are still alive.
Who's that kid she's giving the piano lesson to when he gets there and her house is all sideways? Hard to say. So at this point, Billy Crudup's just like, I don't like any of this, and I don't know what's happening, and I got to get to the bottom of it.
My dad was cheating on mommy.
Because they're cleaning out his office. And that's when he starts finding shit that starts to sort of suggest some of these stories were real.
Jessica Lange's like, come out to his office and gets him out there. And she's like, I don't know. You know what would be important out here. And he starts fucking throwing everything away.
Files. It's a look, cursory glance, throw in the trash. But he does realize that his dad was, I'm like, he's my dad. The dad was in the army. His dad was in the army. And he's like, that was real? And she goes, yeah, I told you. Not all of your father's lies are lies. And he goes, oh, this is confusing.
She seems like she might be a pretty shitty mom.
She seems like she might be a drunk.
Sure.
You know?
Detached as hell. Mm-hmm. I love you, but I'm never going to treat you like a regular human being.
Right. Because he used his wedding ring to catch the fish. But that feels like that should have been at the beginning of the story. And that propels him forward. When does he go back to catch the fish?
I don't know.
I don't either. So Billy Crudup goes to see Jenny. He goes, Jenny, are you fucking my dad? And she goes, no. I'm going to tell you something, but I probably shouldn't. And after I've told it to you, I'm going to mention how I regret telling it to you because I probably shouldn't have.
Bro, she's pretty hot, though?
Oh, absolutely. Who was she having an affair with?
What?
There was somebody, I'm pretty sure she was in a...
Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
I heard this in the Blank Check podcast.
Blank Check with Griffin and David.
I heard that her and Tim Burton have properties right next to each other in a tunnel that goes between them. Like they're separated now. I think they have kids together.
I could have sworn I just heard that she had an affair with Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, nice.
While he was married to Emma Thompson. They started cheating with each other on the set of 1994's Mary Shelley Frankenstein.
Oh, okay. So
it's probably before that. But yeah, I just saw Emma Thompson came out and was like, literally this year. She's like, oh yeah, this happened. That's why we broke up. People are like, what?
Yeah,
not my Helena.
Man, it's got to be pretty hard to be on these sets with other super hot people.
Emma Thompson's fine, man. She's a fine woman. I think she's great as Jenny.
Yeah, I thought she was so hot.
Big time.
And she's supposed to be old as hell.
Honestly, she's supposed to be younger than Billy Crudup.
Yeah.
But in reality, she was 5 years older than him. Her character is supposed to be younger than Billy.
What?
Yeah. That's what they said.
She's got like old gray hair. No.
No, it can't be because he met her when he first left
She was like 10 and he was like 20.
Well, I don't have the facts.
So she's got to be like 60.
Yeah, she does got to be.
And I mean, she's not 60, but so maybe that's what.
Maybe she was supposed to be 5 years older than him, but in reality, she was younger than him. And so she goes, we didn't have an affair. And Billy Crudup goes home.
Well, then she's like, he's like, you're the witch? And she's like, listen, I can't possibly be the witch unless you're your dad. There's no time in his brain.
It took 5 hours to put that witch makeup on her.
Every woman is either your mom
or a witch
or everybody else.
Yeah. So by the time Billy gets back home, his old man had a stroke.
She's good as the witch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time. And so he's in the hospital now, dying of stroke. And so they're like, he's in a coma or whatever.
He had strokes.
A couple of them.
Couple strongs.
And Marion Cotillard, she's taken a shining to him. She's great in this.
Narm.
She's magical.
Yep.
I believe her. Their address, when they got the letter when they lived in Europe.
Mockingbird Lane?
No.
They were living in Europe?
Yeah, when they got the letter. Your dad is something. They're living in maybe France.
How do you know they're in Europe?
Because they're in France.
How?
Because on the envelope, it's a French address for the American embassy.
Oh.
I also paid attention.
I know. I feel like people are like, I think that guy's stupid.
Yeah.
And the answer is, yeah.
So at this point, it's weird. It doesn't feel like there's been any revelations or that Billy's gotten any closer to understanding his dad.
Cracking the case.
But now, because he's in a coma, he's like, well, I'll stay in case anything changes. And that's when the doctor's like, oh, you were just born regularly. And his dad comes out of the coma and he goes, I can't die yet. This ain't how I go.
Give me the sling blade.
And he goes, well, how do you go? And he goes, oh, Dad, it's going to be a spoiler, I reckon. That's my sling braid. Sling braid?
So my death is going to be a spoiler, I reckon?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
A surprise.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. And he goes, tell me how I die. Get the lawnmower blade and kill me with it, I reckon.
Did I eat too many French fried potatoes?
Does my haircut look weird? So he goes, well, Dad.
You and I are in the hospital, and I'd fallen asleep in the chair, and I'd wake up, and I see you. Somehow you're better.
Let's get out of here.
And we go racing out of the hospital, and the doctor tries to stop us, and the mom actually ends up hurting some of the orderlies quite severely when she pushes that tray in front of them.
They don't go with them.
No. And he goes, your bitchin' car is outside, and it's fucking brand new, Dad. It's not up in a tree like you saw it last.
Yeah, how did they get up in that tree?
Because that water effect was really cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Those bubbles and shit.
But he's on the ground underwater.
And now he's in it, yeah.
And now his car's in the tree.
But he's not in the car.
No, he's on the ground.
Get it together, Tim Burton.
Well, I guess he must have swam out after the mermaid came by, right?
Apparently, he left the car as the water just did a weird swoosh, and now his car's in the tree. And the tree's able to support a 2,500-pound car.
Yeah.
So they're in the car, and they're rip-roaring.
Was it a Plymouth Fury? No,
it wasn't. It was I want to say a Dodge Charger.
Bitch and Stang?
And it was, whatever it was the first year that they had produced that vehicle. I think it was a Dodge Charger. You'll know.
I thought maybe I was out of beer.
Fuck no.
Do you want to go home with a raspberry jam bam?
I do.
Okay, cool.
And
yeah?
And
yes?
You know, in the movie in the beginning when they're doing the parade and he's leaving town?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Uh-huh.
They go by a theater and it's playing a real movie. Okay? This time around, whatever that first movie was, completely unimportant to this story, okay? Second time around, they're playing 2003's Identity.
Really?
Which was also a Sony picture, I believe.
We've already gone on record about that movie.
How much you love it, and I love it even more. Best movie of all time?
Probably.
So, they go to the fucking river because I need water.
Yeah.
He's turning into...
the big fish.
The big fish.
He's the big fish.
And I like this. I don't know what they did. If they suspended him from wires, or if they gave Billy Crudup like a really strong mechanical back, but he's just carrying Albert Finney.
Yeah, Alfred Molina. Are you thinking about Doc Octopus and his...
I'm thinking about Three Pines, but...
Oh, okay.
And he's just... and there's cheerleaders, and there's the witch.
That's a good point, because he's a beefy-ass old man.
I mean, he's a fucking, old turd, and Billy Crudup ain't that big.
Shitload of bricks. Well, I don't know, man. I think Crudup's probably pretty strong. He's like, dude, Mr. fucking, hey, what's up? I'm Billy Crudup. I have no fat on my body and I'm all muscles.
But he's been with waifs, How much effort does it take to lift weeds?
That's true.
Or what's her face? Claire Danes. Maybe Jennifer Connelly's titties. Oh! And so, everybody's there. Oh, we love you. Danny DeVito is there and shit. And
I thought this part was the thing that made me cry the first time I watched it. I thought it was coming for me.
I remember, I thought this was how the movie ended.
Yeah, me too.
In reality, he actually takes him there, and this, oh my God, it's real.
I think this is what happened to me too. Yeah,
but that's not the case.
No.
And so he puts him in the water. He turns into a fish. That was actually a robot.
They got a big fish?
They made a fish.
A big one.
And they put it on a track.
Oh.
So they had to actually install a track into the real river.
And it electrocuted everybody and they died?
Billy Crudup's been dead since 2003.
Fuck, dude.
For the simple shot of it swimming around him and going away.
Damn, BC, I love you.
They put that shit in there.
I'm sorry, TB, did you dirty?
Too soon. Rest in peace. I'm going to pour some of this beer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to pour it all over my shirt.
Yeah, I already did that.
Yep.
And so we cut back to the hospital and Albert Finney's dead. And I am misty. Play it again, Sam. That's what I said.
Yep.
I'm like, damn, this is good, this part. He calls up his mom. Hey, Ma.
Me, Ma, Peepaw gone.
And then we go to the funeral. And
this is where it got me. I had to turn it
every
off.
shit kicker in the universe is there.
Dude, I started doing it. And I was like, oh, I can't watch this at work because they're coming in to eat soon. And I don't need to have fucking super cry eyes.
Yeah.
I don't need somebody coming in here early and hearing me go. That's how I sound when I cry.
You turn into a walrus.
You think of the monkey from Nope, right?
No, Gordy, no.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, it's me.
You're a were-monkey.
I cried.
And that's when he sees the giant, but he's just a giant-sized man, not a giant. He's with Danny DeVito, who's a Danny DeVito-sized man, but he's not a Danny DeVito. And we see the twins, who aren't Siamese. They're twins. Their language, not mine. We are Siamese. You remember that?
Yeah. It's the cats,
those
right?
Cats, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that from? Cats?
No, is it Oliver or what is the?
It's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah, is it where the cat?
It's not
the dog and
the tramp.
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp.
With the kissing and the noodles. Is it that?
And it's like everybody's chatting and Steve Buscemi's there. He's dating one of the Asian ladies.
I don't know. It fucked me up though. Just everybody coming out for him is what choked me up.
I kind of wish Roy from The Office.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of wish he would have been there.
Well, I kind of wish I died back in 2005 and a bunch of people would have come to my funeral. Now, 6 people.
Ain't nobody. I'm not going.
Fuck no.
It's on Wednesday?
I finally get married, 5 people.
I would have liked to have seen Roy from The Office, though. I would have liked for there to have been just a little bit of a nod to the guy.
But then he gets Jessica Lange now.
Yeah.
Gets her
comes
back.
in and just scoops that puss.
Fuck! Is this that whiskey? The green apple whiskey?
Yeah, boy.
Shit, that was great, dude.
I did a finger thing, too. You couldn't see that part.
He scooped right up by the pussy with his fingers. Shit.
And then we get a Pearl Jam song.
Do we?
That's the song that plays at the end of the movie.
Big fish swimming. Take a master bed.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a pretty pussy Pearl Jam song.
Yeah. But Ticketmaster?
And that's the movie.
Yeah.
The Moopy. Okay, it's an okay film. For me, it's a little, I don't know. I like it because it doesn't get incredibly bogged down in Tim Burtonism. You know, the scene where he's watching his lawn guys do the lawns. That felt very Tim Burton.
I like that. Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands-ish.
Yeah.
But there wasn't just... I mean, even like the Elfman score, I didn't really feel like an Elfman score.
I didn't even know Elfman did it.
Exactly. Which I don't even know if that's true or not.
I didn't hear no Oingo. I didn't hear a Boingo.
I didn't hear no Simpsons.
Maybe they're not friends at this point.
I'm pretty sure he did the soundtrack.
I think they had a big falling out.
Or the score, rather. When?
Ooh, you know what? They wouldn't let Elfman do the voice of Jack Skellington. He wanted to do the singing voice and the talking voice, and they only let him do the singing voice, and he took it really poorly.
Oh, is that right?
True story. I heard that on
He did the
Blank
singing
Check.
voice?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. No wonder I hate
Chris
that movie.
Sarandon does the voice of Jack Skellington?
He did the music. Danny Elfman, yeah. In Big Fish.
Big fart.
Who did it?
Chris Sarandon from Fright
Susan's
Night.
Boy?
Now, we wouldn't want to wake your mother, would we, Charlie? Then I'd have to kill her, too.
Right up!
Her first husband?
Oh. The
guy from Fright Night, the evil guy. The first one. The original.
Oh. Susan Sarandon's a good-looking woman.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Good Lord.
Yeah. Probably even now.
Especially now.
Yeah, play ping pong with her. She'll let you fuck her.
What is that from?
She likes ping pong a lot.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
That's
She's
cool.
super into ping pong. That's why she did the shitty movie Ping Pong Summer. She likes ping pong.
With Ja? Who's in that?
Ja Rule? Yeah. I don't know who's in it. I saw it. I don't remember it at
I
all.
have never heard of that.
I shouldn't say it's shitty. I think it's fine, but it's weird that she would be in it.
What do you give Big Fish?
Yeah. Well, we're bringing it back to Big Fish?
We gotta, because we're an hour and a half in.
Okay. Well, we just talk about family stuff for another 2 hours.
We could.
I like Big Fish, dude. I give Big Fish a fucking 7.
Okay.
I like Big Fish. I enjoy it.
I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay.
I liked a lot of elements in it. As a coherent film, I was a little put off at times, but I like Ewan McGregor. You know, I like...
Ewan?
I like Albert Finney for the most part.
I've told 1,000 facts. Well, it's what I do. I tell stories.
Jessica Lange, boy, she didn't have anything to do in this movie.
Nah, except for I don't know, look pretty and like a mom.
Get in the bathtub and get me all hard and shit.
She's super fucking hot.
You know where she's from?
I don't know. I was trying to think of something funny to say. I don't know.
All that jazz.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant where she was born. Yeah.
I don't care about that.
I know she's from all that jazz. I was the one that told you that. You thought she was somebody else.
I thought she was the wife in Dressed to Kill.
Why wasn't he talking to all the people at the funeral? Like, you see them.
He walks up to listen to Steve Buscemi's story. Yes, I wish...
He should be soaking up every tale he hears.
I wish the movie would have front-loaded all that shit, the stories and everything. And then the guy's on his deathbed and we don't hear from him while Crudup's trying to make sense of everything. And then, yeah, maybe he runs into Steve Buscemi.
You know what I had a real beef with? Crudup and Finney are having a talk, and Finney's eating in his bed watching TV. He's like in the middle of eating.
Breakfast, yeah.
And the conversation gets a little more intense. So the ladies leave the room, and she takes his fucking plate away.
But he keeps the coffee.
But as though you would ever take the food away from the cancer patient who won't eat.
Which, that's another thing. They give Crudup a can of Ensure to give to him. My mom was drinking Ensure left and fucking
I heard Jenny's dad drinks
and that shit makes me want to throw up.
You tried some?
No, I couldn't even get to that stage.
Okay.
Opening it, smelling it, dumping them out because she didn't finish them. Having a case of it that went bad that I had to dump out.
Do they be stanking? Or are you just...
It's just something about it. Like the viscosity of it.
It was thick.
She drank... What did she drink? Butter pecan flavored? That's just... Oh, thank you.
Foul.
Foul owl.
On the prowl?
Y'all.
Yeah, so that's our Big Fish episode.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, we're back on the Crudup train.
Back on it.
Beep, beep.
You know what's coming up next week?
Stage Beauty.
Yeah. So we're on social media.
You can fuck with us on the socials.
Get at us on the gram.
Get on us, mate, on the gram.
On the Facebook.
YouTube. Reddit.
Reddit.
Yeah. Hey.
We doing filmographies.
I read that thing. I read it.
Yeah. You know, I was going to come up with an app called Heard It.
Yeah.
Where it's just people saying stuff and you listen to it.
Twitter.
We on Twitter.
Do filmographies.
We on Twitter. Do filmographies.
Yeah. You send us a Gmail. Julian, what's that Gmail address?
We doing filmographies at gmail.com.
That's right.
/ your bank account number. Oh, we got a hotline.
Oh, yeah. 763-634-1897.
Yeah, all right.
All right. We'll see you next week with Stage Beauty.
We Doing Filmographies is proud to be a part of the Now Playing Network. Find other great podcasts at nowplayingnetwork.net, like Tracks of the Damned, where host Patrick Ripley goes full commentary mode on a bucket of horror movies. Tracks of the Damned at nowplayingnetwork.net.